I'm Myke Shrews.
And I'm Tivis.
And you're listening to
The Munster Cast.
Episode 78, man. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Munster Cast, the podcast where we watch and talk about the Munsters. I'm, of course, your host, Myke Shrews, here with my co-host and friend, Tivis. So, Tivis, please tell the world, how are you doing today?
Better. I was able to go see a doctor.
What type of doctor? Witch doctor? Or...
My doctor.
So a witch doctor. Got it. So for everybody out there who's
he told me what
wondering,
to do.
He told you what you do? What drugs to take? Now you're a big druggie?
I got nasal spray. Let me tell you, deciding to take that before bed, bad idea.
In case our energy seems a little weird today, guys, just know we are recording this at we got at 5 in the morning to record?
It's almost 6:10.
It's 6:10 now, but we got up pretty early.
Yeah, I'm always up early, though.
Me too.
I got a nice can of Dr. Pepper.
You say it, but covered the label.
Well, you yelled at me last week.
Oh, shit. All right. Anyways, guys, let's get into this dirty work, shall we? You can find the Munster Cast on all social media platforms. That is Facebook, Instagram, and whatever we want to call Twitter, even though we're really not posting over there anymore just because I get so
Twitter.
bored. Yeah.
They haven't changed the URL. Screw Elon.
Yeah. So find us over there on any of the social medias. Plus, Tivis, are you still doing the other social media?
Still posting on I got a ton of stuff that I'm on Threads, which we can eventually move the Munster Cast onto there because it's just a simple conversion whenever Myke feels like doing it. Okay. I'm on Mastodon, Hive, Blue Sky. I managed to get on. Also, the Hunters got me on Letterboxd, so it's not really important to this show, but if you want to see the dumb movies I watch, you can find me there.
I was gonna say that's not really, yeah. Because I'm on Letterboxd too. I've been on there for a minute. I used to do reviews on there, but then I just got lazy and stopped.
Yeah, you could see how C Spot Run is my second favorite movie.
Bad,
I think
it's bad.
That movie is a national treasure.
Where are we at here? Why is everything going? Oh yeah. You can also watch the Munster Cast if you would like over at youtube.com/@TheMunsterCast. So if you are seeing us now, you're already here. Click the subscribe button. It definitely would we would appreciate that. Why am I not seeing any of these here? Oh, there, because I wasn't down far enough. You can also scroll over to TheMunsterCast.com. That is www.TheMunsterCast.com. Over there, we have all of our content in one spot, guys. You can check everything out in one area, including the socials and everything else. Yeah. In that same website, you can also click on the little merch tab or just go to themunstercast.com/merch, and that'll take you straight to our merch shop where you can get one of these awesome shirts that me and Tivis is wearing. Tivis's shirt, I think, is retired. Yeah, Tivis is wearing one of the first shirts that we retired already because we updated the logo and stuff. But I got an awesome Lily shirt that's just designed exactly like our logo, but using Lily instead of Herman, just to give some difference
variety.
In there, I guess. Variety, yes, that's the word I'm looking for this morning.
And we're thinking about doing more characters. If there's any you would like, let us know. The more demand for it, the more likely it is that we'll do it.
And maybe we'll eventually market these awesome cups that me and Tivis have.
Yeah, I still haven't washed mine.
Oh, lame.
It's up here next to my giant D20.
Again, too, also, guys, last week when we did our just random info dump thing, we also mentioned that Tivis has a keychain in front of him that is the actual Munster Cast logo.
And
Herman
I just hit
Munster.
it, so that's going to be great for audio.
So if you actually purchase a shirt or whatever merch that we have in our merch shop, and you post it on social media and tag us in it, we will contact you and send you a keychain, as long as we have keychains still
What if
left.
I got a nose ring?
Do it. But we have plenty of those, so that is something that's going to be continuous until they are gone for sure. All right, what else we got, Tivis?
We got an email.
We got an email. You can email us at themunstercast@outlook.com, guys. That is themunstercast@outlook.com. Email us there for all your fun Munster-filled stories, content, whatever you want to share with us, Munster-related, and or just to come on to the show.
All right. And we also have a Patreon, which again, we mostly treat as a tip jar. We do have the bonus now where you get access to our Discord, which then you can watch Munsters Today along with us. You can watch it, then listen to us. I don't know why you would do the reverse, but you can also do that.
You can also discuss with us in the Discord too, if you want. If you want to bring up.
Oh yeah, we're both on there. I'm
Episodes,
very, yeah, I'm very active on Discord. I pretty much use that for all my messaging between friends, other than Myke. So, yeah, you're guaranteed to get a conversation from me at least. But if
I'm special.
If you can't afford to drop $1 in the bucket or whatever the amount is, I can't remember. Don't worry about that. What helps us more than ever is leave us a review. Seriously, that helps bump us up, lets more people find us. Telling anyone and everyone, you see a random person on the street, yell at them from your car. Write it on a bottle and fucking don't do that. That's bad for the environment. But put it in a bottle and throw it out to sea. Maybe it'll go to an island where they don't have access to the internet, and then they'll be wondering what the hell is this. But yeah, spreading the word, leaving us reviews wherever possible, commenting on our YouTube videos, all that stuff helps the show way more than anything, and we appreciate each and every one of you who do.
Yeah, definitely, guys. And also, if you're a really good artist, you can go out and tag some buildings with our logo on it.
We don't endorse graffiti.
Condoning that.
Legally, we have to say we do not endorse that.
All right. Anyways, I think that's all the shilling we're gonna do for today. So let's dive on into this. Today we're talking about 300-something, which aired October 7th, 1989, guys.
Yeah, 300-something, which I just want to point out Myke had put in there as 3 separate words. It's actually one long ass word. Season
I don't
2,
even remember
1.
putting it in there, so
that's worrisome. Season 2, episode 1, or episode 95 of Munsters overall. I believe that number is still correct. I'll have to do the math on that one. If I'm wrong, correct me. As Myke said, October 7th, 1989. Written by Bill Rosenthal and Noah Taft, which are 2 names we should be familiar with by now because it's their 5th episode of their 8 total. And last time we saw them, Myke, Neighborly Munsters.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Other than my increasing dislike for the neighbors. This was directed by Bonnie Franklin, which I know it's been a while, but this is the second time she's come up. She wrote Harmon's sorority caper of the original show, if you forgot.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a long-time person who's been involved with it, coming back for her second of 12 episodes. And all of the other 10 that we're going to talk about are this season. So I'm super excited. I believe the last one we saw with her was I forget the name of it, but the one where he becomes a businessman.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was a fun one too.
The bee one, the bee hive one, or not the bee?
No, they can't. Where he's in the bug company or whatever.
Yeah. The chocolate is the chocolate.
Chocolate.
Stuff.
That's what it is. Yeah.
It's just named after like a bee thing or whatever it was. Yeah.
I think it's like Munsters Corporate or something like that. I don't know. Corporate Munster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for our guest this week, we have the incredible Zaza Gabor as herself, or a fictional version at least. For those who don't know, Zaza is a longtime actress who has been in so many things and gained such a huge popularity. She was born, I don't know how to pronounce this, Sari Gabor in Budapest, Hungary, which it wasn't called Hungary back then, but in 1917, and she passed away in 2016 at the great age of 99. Her first acting credit was in 1952 in Lovely to Look At, where she played Zaza. I wonder where she got her name change from.
Zaza.
Her catchphrase was the link. I'm pronouncing that wrong. I had it correct in my head the other day when I was writing this, and now I completely
got it out of your head.
Yeah, but I don't believe we heard it in this episode anyway. So
I don't. We didn't hear anything. Like she only had like 1 or 2 lines. The whole.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. We'll get into that. She won a Golden Globe in 1958 for Most Glamorous Actress. She has been nominated twice for the Photoplay Awards for Variety Star. She got a star on the Walk of Fame in February 8th, 1960. She was nominated for a Los Angeles area Emmy for Most Outstanding Female Personality. And she was the 2015 Cineracum International Film Festival Lifetime Achievement Diamond Award for Best Acting in Films over 50 years. This lady had so many incredible moments. Notable things that stuck out to me. I don't know if you saw any different than I did, but she was in Mr. Ed, Gilligan's Island. She voiced the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland, or What's a Nice Kid Like You Doing in a Place Like This, which is a mouthful. She was in 2 episodes of Batman 66, because, you know, they're cliffhanger episodes. She played Clara in Frankenstein's Great Aunt Tilly. She was herself in Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors, which is my mom and I's favorite Nightmare on Elm Street, as well as herself in Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills and a Very Brady sequel, which I included for Myke.
Thank you. She was in that, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
But again, as always, with all of these guests, I encourage you, go check out their Wikipedia, their IMDb, whatever you can see, because I guarantee you're going to see something that she was in that you enjoyed. She's just everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. She's passed away, right? She passed away in like
2016.
That's what I thought. Okay. All right, man. Are you done?
Yeah, I was going to say synopsis time.
Synopsis time. I barely wrote a thing. I didn't even think about a thing.
Yeah, this is normal.
So, of course, normal. What did you think this was? What are we on? Season 5 of the Munster Cast, and I was going to get it right. Come on now.
God, I hope you dropped that.
Nope, not dropping it, Tivis, because I put it on every freaking poster.
It's so confusing.
No, it's not. Get over it. People out there understand each season of a podcast.
If you understand Mike's season convention, please explain it to me.
It's not that hard. Second season of the Munsters, second season of the Munsters, third season was all of the movies. Fourth season, first season of the Munsters Today. Fifth season is going to be the second season of the Munsters Today. It's not that hard, Tivis. Get your little brain around it.
Synopsis time.
300-something, which aired October 7th, 1989. On this episode of the Munster Cast. Wait. No. That's not right. On this episode of the Munsters Today, Lily watches and takes advice from Oprah. Oh no. On romantic relationships. Herman, meanwhile, is just Herman. And of course, he's just Herman. Yeah. Meanwhile, Eddie gets a rad new wardrobe and hangs out with Grandpa for a weekend together. And of course, chaos ensues.
On this episode of the Munster Cast, Tivis is driven insane.
Driven insane. Are you a freaking teenager nowadays?
Uh,
I've been
before
driven
we get
somewhere,
started,
ma.
before we get started, the sad news just dropped yesterday. I want to give some respect to Carl Weathers.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing actor, phenomenal person. From everyone I've heard stories who've interacted with him.
Right.
So yeah, he will be missed.
Yes, definitely will be missed. Good soul, good actor, great actor, actually.
Oh God, wonderful.
He was in Star Wars stuff recently, wasn't he? Mando?
Yeah, and Mandalorian, yeah.
Yeah.
He played the guild leader and then the mayor of the town in the later seasons.
Yep.
All
right, man.
All right, let's dive into this though.
Let's dive on in.
We
haven't. Oh, go on.
Yeah, go. You do.
I'm gonna say we have a new freaking intro in this season.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention the new intro.
I don't like it. We don't have the "We're the Munsters."
Yeah, they got rid of the singing, which I do kind of miss, and also the scene they end with the family. Do they not look miserable?
A little bit.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Yeah, they all just look kind of sad. Like the last picture that they freeze frame on. Yeah.
Is it because they took the singing away?
It's definitely because they took the singing away, because I was sad. I was like, oh man.
I was not expecting intro change.
Yeah, I'll probably watch the intro a couple more times throughout as we do this, but I'll most likely end up skipping it. Usually I play the episode like complete, but now I might just skip it because it's just like, I don't know, generic 80s intro now.
It's still the Munsters theme though. It's just updated.
We're the Munsters. Isn't there? I don't care.
That's fair. So, as you mentioned, we open with Lily ironing clothes, watching Oprah, which is something I didn't expect. Where a woman on there says every day her husband comes home, says, "Honey, I'm home," throws down his lunch pail and asks, "What's for dinner?" Lily sympathizes with her until Herman predictably comes in, doing that very same process. She tells him he forgot the passionless kiss on the cheek. He apologizes and kisses her before asking what's for dinner again. Oh boy. Yeah, and I gotta be honest, when we got to this point, I'm like, oh no. This is like season 2 Munsters territory. I'm worried. But I was proven wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't go like that.
No, it actually has redeeming factors and a point.
Right.
Not just we hate each other for no inexplicable reason.
It's fucking Oprah. Oprah makes people hate themselves.
Yeah.
God, I hope no one out there is like a huge Oprah fan that just heard that.
Oh, I'm sure they've heard worse. So she says their marriage is in a rut. He says it's exactly the same as it's always been, which is kind of the definition of a rut, to be honest. Oh, yep. You're watching Oprah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he also points out, oh, you've been watching Oprah again.
Yeah. Well, he's like, it's good advice. Or no, she goes, good advice is good advice. It doesn't matter where it comes from. Which makes me think she doesn't like Oprah either. They had a wonderful psychologist today. She said the best way to spice up a dull marriage is a romantic weekend, which, getaways together is a good idea. Never a bad idea. Always to make time for each other.
Yeah.
Herman says that's a great idea, which, yeah, of course, Herman. Did she give her home phone number? Which I'm like, oh, is that a dig?
Yeah, because it was the psychiatrist's name was Sheila, and he's like, well, good idea. Did Sheila give out their home phone number?
Lily says Marilyn's away on a school trip, and I'm like, oh, so no Marilyn this episode. All right, that's weird. She must have the day off. And she thinks
either that or they were thinking of recasting her.
Oh, maybe anything's possible.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, Grandpa would love to take Eddie away for the weekend. What do you say?" Herman says, "Hubba hubba." Lily says it will be like when they first started dating and ask if he remembers. He says it's only been 300 years. Of course he does. Flashback to Herman and Lily in Transylvania Letterman jackets wandering into a graveyard.
Lily looks just like almost I mean, granted they're the same old characters. They did what we used to do in the 90s all the time. You just slap them in there, put a backwards hat on them. They're younger, you know. But like Lily looks like Wednesday Addams a little bit with how she has her hair and stuff.
A little bit. Lily says she can't recall why they went there so much, and Herman says it's because Grandpa didn't look there.
Yeah.
They could get away with stuff. They reminisce about how romantic they used to be. Herman even carved their names into a tree with a knife that sounded like a chainsaw. The flashback ends with Herman dipping her into a kiss, and they come back to the same pose.
Yeah.
He tells her a weekend will do them wonders.
And as they start doing that, you know, Herman does the thing that most men do. Oh, we're gonna have a weekend together, no kids. That's just let's bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, he doesn't do that though.
He doesn't,
We'll
but that's how his personality is going right now. I should know. I've been there. No kids. Hey, guess what? But when you have fucking 100 of them in your house.
Yeah. Cut to Eddie, who sounds like he went through puberty since the last episode, asking his buddy Scott to save him from his grandpa.
He went through a whole like wardrobe change too. He's now wearing bright colors and
he's taller. His voice is deeper.
Up. Well, I think they also put his hair up to make him appear taller too.
Oh, he definitely got taller.
Yeah, he got a little bigger too. You can see he's got more teenage muscle tone coming in and shit like that.
And I got excited because this I remembered being told that Eddie has a whole arc of adolescence that we're gonna see, and I'm like, this has to be the start of it, and I'm so excited.
Right. And now that he's getting older too, like the actor was actually getting older, he probably could do a lot more time on sets and stuff like that too.
Butch was so young, he didn't really change all that much between the seasons. Whereas, you know, obviously Jason here is a bit older than Butch was.
Yeah.
So he's going to look older as time goes.
Not true. Butch changed where he slept every so often.
I meant physically. He got a little taller, but not too much.
Yeah.
But yeah,
what is Eddie trying to tell this guy that he can do? Tivis.
He's like, hey, I'll let you get a peek at Marilyn in the shower. Oh boy, here we go. 80s problematic TV. But so Lily walks in hearing this, and I thought she was going to reprimand him, but his buddy declines, claiming Marilyn is too skinny.
He says skinny is a relative term. We don't really know what the kid said. If he's trying to say, I was like, are they trying to say Marilyn's fat or she's too skinny? It's
ambiguous, but
oh my goodness, I have on here that Eddie is trying to get out of a weekend shower because apparently I was
you combined notes. Oh yeah. So yeah, Lily confronts him, and I thought she was going to say something about offering his cousin as a bribe, but no. He's trying to get out of a weekend with Grandpa, and he's like, "No, I'm begging to get out of it." They just have nothing in common and won't be able to talk about anything. And I'm like, boy, this is such a stark contrast to the original show where Eddie and Grandpa seem so close.
Well, he is getting older now, so he's in his like teen years. He's starting to
that's true.
grow apart. And then he also notes too that, you know, Grandpa just keeps telling the same old story about Bela Lugosi.
I've heard this one 100 times.
Yeah.
I feel like Bela Lugosi came up last season.
I mean, probably. Why wouldn't he? You know, he was one of Universal's money makers. So
Yeah. So Grandpa comes up from the lab, very excited with big plans. They're going to Universal Studios, which, if you have not heard by now, they are unveiling their plans for the Universal section that is just being completed in Universal.
mhm.
They're bringing back the Dark Universe, which may scare some people, but the Universal parks do a fantastic job with their theming, like the people who run them.
Mhm.
So I have high hopes that the Universal section, because every Halloween they have some kind of Universal Monsters theme thing.
Yeah.
And they all, like, each year tells a story that kind of continues from the last, and it's really cool. So we're not being paid by them at all, and I'm not much of a theme park rider, but it sounds like this will be a really cool thing to check out once it's open finally.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
So
All right.
he can't resist a natural disaster, and they have a new earthquake ride.
Yeah.
He begins telling Eddie about how he
Also,
made friends.
that was a great plug probably at the time for their parks.
Oh, more than likely. Which, it still confuses me why they don't have the Munsters being incorporated into this. But I mean, there's still time down the road. You know, maybe they'll show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. He begins telling Eddie about how he made friends with one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. I wrote stairs for some reason. He then says, Ferenc Blasco, and Eddie turns to him shocked. No.
Like, a new name.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, that was one of the names that Bela Lugosi went by. And Eddie immediately checks out and just turns to glare at his mom as the door closes.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, Bela Lugosi's like actual full name is Bela Ferenc Dezo Blasco, which is a very Hungarian name because he was, a Hungarian American. So yeah, I'm not gonna get into the history lesson of Bela Lugosi because I could go on for days. But yeah, he's horror icon.
Like Grandpa.
Yeah, I can and just repeat myself over and over. I'm starting to get there. I'm like, I don't need new stories. I just tell the old ones over and over.
You're that way with TV too. So
I know. I just keep watching the same old shit.
Herman comes in with 83 formaldehyde, their favorite bubbly, which is a term I did not know was used in the 80s. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I've ever heard that was from Chris Jericho after he won the belt at AEW.
Really?
Yeah.
For bubbly? For like,
yep.
Really?
A little bit of the bubbly.
You've never, wow.
Yeah.
You need to get cultured to this. You need to get a culture shock.
Yeah. So, alone at last, and they enjoy a cup. They're finally alone, but she's still making dinner and he's watching Dan Quayle on TV. Lily says they should be doing something special. He tells her to sit next to him, and they begin sharing their days. Turns out they have nothing to talk about. Herman begins turning his head and she thinks he's going to kiss her, but he's just checking to watch to see when Current Affairs with Maury Povich is on TV.
Yeah, he goes in. He actually leans in, and it's just like to look at his wristwatch that's wrapped around her because he has his hand around her. He's like, geez, 7:15 already.
Yeah, Lily starts talking about
That's
how
the
much
type of bullshit my wife would do to me, by the way.
Yeah, but she would do it on purpose just to mess with you.
Oh, she would totally do that on purpose.
Lily starts talking about how much older the family is getting, and Herman isn't listening and begins looking around the room for I don't know why.
He's just like confused because she's talking, and he's just like, "Oh,
where's this noise coming from?"
That's hilarious.
She realizes he wasn't listening and asks him what he thought.
To be fair, though, she is. Let's just say, to be fair, though, she is just talking like this straight out, and he's sitting next to her. She doesn't turn to look at him until way later, And it's like, if you want his attention, maybe you should. Herman's ADHD as fuck. Come on, like let's admit it.
You've experienced this too, I'm guessing.
I mean, I do it on the show here. I'll be like, is that what? And I'm literally looking.
No,
at
I meant
you.
with your wife, where she'll just start talking and you don't realize she's talking to you.
I mean, unless you say my name or something, or let me know you're actually talking to me. I have like a crap load of people in the house with us too all the time. Your circumstance is a little different. It's just you and her, unless she's talking to the cats or herself. Which also, Nick talks to herself all the fucking time too. Anyway, so like I don't. So
And I'm
like,
currently
let
deaf
me
in ear.
know. When I want your attention, I'll be like, hey, or we're the only two in the house. I'm talking out loud to you. Unless I'm like on a podcast, I'm not really talking randomly into like thin air. So all right.
Yeah.
Anyways, go on with your joke.
She asked
Sorry.
Herman what he thought. And he's like, if we put a skylight in the dungeon, it would really open the place up. I'm like, yeah, it probably would, but that means you have a glass, which would be kind of cool, I guess.
So when she was talking about everybody moving on, it was Marilyn's moving off or going to college soon, which I'm wondering, does that mean they're kicking her out to college? Eddie is getting old enough to now start flea bathing himself, and Grandpa is very long in the tooth, she says. And I'm like, are they trying to say Grandpa's dying like soon?
I mean, who knows?
He hasn't killed enough wives lately to keep himself young and.
But yeah.
At least this grandpa doesn't talk about killing wives all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, naturally, this she gets upset by this, and Herman partially recalls some of what she says, which is Eddie has fleas.
Yeah. He says, something about Eddie with fleas.
Yeah. So she gets up to take the food away, and he calls her back. She gets excited, but it's only because she took the remote.
I feel you, Marilyn. Or Lily, I mean. I feel you. I feel you, Lily.
I don't remember if it's this part or later on, but
sometimes us girls just want love, man. Come on.
Oh, it's later on that I'm thinking of. All right. So now we cut to Grandpa and Eddie.
Women are the new men nowadays, by the way, according to this.
Didn't Marilyn say
my
that
love,
at one
damn
point?
It.
We enter a suspiciously familiar-looking graveyard.
Ooh.
Grandpa passes out on the earthquake, or passed out on the earthquake ride. He claims he was sleeping, but Eddie questions why he was under the seat. He changes the subject to tales of the old country, but Eddie has heard them all already. So Grandpa asks him, well, what would you like to hear then? Astrophysics? Black magic? First time I was with a babe? Grandpa, no. Eddie says Grandpa probably doesn't know the first thing about what he's into. And Grandpa, like Howard, the look on his face, he looks so hurt. He's like, well, try me.
Yeah, like let's see. And that's the thing I don't like too about and it happens a lot. I was like, you don't know what I like. I don't read your mind. I'm not Charles Xavier, sorry. Like you have to tell us, like whether it's kids or spouses, things like that. It's like we're all growing, we're all changing constantly. So unless you're verbal about it, it's hard to tell. Fucking Eddie, asshole.
It sounds like you have experience with children. So we cut back to Herman listening to the sigh. Oh man, listening to the national
Eddie.
Listening to the national
Eddie 1, Eddie 2, and Eddie 3. Ed and Eddie. I got 3 of them now. So.
Hey, one of the best Cartoon Network shows ever made.
Which totally wasn't supposed to be a kid's cartoon either, by the way.
No. We got Herman sitting on the couch still listening to the national anthem, which anyone who does not remember, which I know a lot of our audience gears towards our age or older, That was the signal for the end of TV broadcasts, which I don't remember when they ended that and started doing the 24-hour. Do you? He's thinking.
It had to be sometime in the late 80s.
No, it was later than that, because I remember when I was a kid and the test image would come up after Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like on normal broadcast channels, you're talking, right?
Yep.
92, maybe?
Man, I don't know. If you remember, let us know.
Because, I mean, you had like Saturday Night Live was on late, Mad TV was on late, all that stuff throughout the early 90s. Yeah, I don't know. No clue.
Yeah.
Moving on. Yeah, Herman looks like a lazy motherfucker right here, by the way.
Yeah. He's like, now we have time, and calls for Lily and snaps his fingers, and all you hear back from offset is in your dreams. And he realizes
in your dreams, Herman. Yeah.
The next day, Herman tells Spot to bring him the paper. There is a scream, and Herman says, "Not the paper boy." He then runs inside, presumably because a child was just eaten, and he doesn't want to be complicit. He walks over to Lily at the table, who tells him they are in trouble. She scoots a magazine over to him, and it's about how to spot a marriage in trouble. She begins reading.
Well, he also mentioned, Spot was way overdue for his distemper shot.
Yeah. Yeah, that poor kid is probably dead with how many mailmen he had eaten.
All right, now how to spot the marriage in trouble.
Yeah, I wrote all these down, by the way. So Lily
sweet.
begins a questionnaire. True or false, Myke? When partners have time alone, they deploy avoidance techniques such as watching TV.
True.
Herman is reminded he needs to find the TV guide. True or false, Myke? When one partner attempts real communication, the other doesn't listen.
True.
Herman is searching the living room, not listening to Lily. And Lily points this out, and he counters with, he listens pretty well. And I'm like, no, this is a trap. You've made a mistake.
Your wife is going to find your notes and be like, what the fuck is he doing?
If you've been with a partner long enough, you know this is a bad idea. Just own your mistake.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Lily asks him what they talked about last night.
Flea baths. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Myke, true or false? When one partner confronts the other about a problem, they typically deny it.
True. Very true. True.
Herman then leaves up saying,
been married for 15 years. Trust me.
Not true. You're wrong. They then get into a do not argument.
By the way, I'm going to point out too, it's not always the men.
No. We'll get into it as we go, because the lesson they learn is relevant.
Tivis is trying to be very gentle with the topic, and I'm just like, I don't care. My wife ain't gonna listen.
Well, no, because there's more that I want to say, but it comes up in the story itself, so yeah, might as well get to it when we get to it. But she's like, look, we have a problem. He's like, we do not, and they begin do not, and it's great. Lily asks if he he's like, would you believe Dr. Ruth? He's like, no. What about Ted Landers? I think is what she says. Get serious. What about Dr. Joyce Brothers? Are you crazy? She's like, well, who would you believe then?
Now, did you look up? I didn't look them all up.
No, because I wasn't sure exactly what she said, so I didn't know what to look up.
Were they like, I'm assuming they were like TV personalities at the time. Kind of like an Oprah. Like doctors that were on like Oprah or what was the other? Montel? Well, Montel wasn't around yet. Who's the old ass white dude that does the show for a long time?
Dr. Phil.
That narrows it down. Dr. Phil didn't pop up with his own show until way later.
Was obviously still on his other show, because they mentioned that.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of Maury.
Yeah.
You are not the father.
Yeah. So she's like, well, who would you believe? And Herman says, a real expert like Zaza Gabor. And Lily is confounded by this, but then she walks out of the room and brings Zaza out, who was just standing in the next room for no reason. Now, I know we used to say the classic show was very, had to be an inspiration for Family Guy, but this just feels straight out of Family.
Right. Now, here's the thing, though. And I 100% think that she was setting him up for it too. Like she just got her to come and hang out and wait, and she's like, "I know who he's gonna trust."
Here, talk to the mummy. Yeah. So Zaza tells Herman their marriage is a big problem. Yeah. And Lily looks smug as hell, and Herman is just stunned either from what she said or the fact that she's in their house. It's hard to tell.
So after the Zaza spot in here, I wrote in my notes, "Oh goodness, this episode is just so real when you've been married." Nick literally brought up some shit from 15 years ago as a reason for other things. And I'm just out. That's literally what I wrote in my notes. I wasn't sure if I was going to read that, but fuck it.
Anyone who's ever been in a long-term relationship, this is a very relatable episode.
Yeah.
So we come back from the
on either side.
Yes. We come back from commercial break. Lily is decorating as Herman comes in with 7 books on marriage. And here's where the tables turn a little bit. Mm-hmm. He admits he wasn't ready to deal with their problem at first, but now he's ready to dive right in. She says she needs to go deal with the upstairs cobwebs. Now who is trying to avoid the problem?
I think they did that on purpose too.
I know.
Like there's always somebody in the relationship to avoid it.
Yeah, it takes 2 to tango with every problem. But Herman calls her back, and she says, saying, "You're the one who opened my eyes to all this in the first place." So Lily rolls her eyes and sits down to hear him out.
Yeah, but he does say you and Zaza are the ones that brought all this shit up.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. So now I'm like, what all did they bring up?
They got this famous actress for that tiny little bit.
Yeah. I'm wondering.
You gotta wonder what was her price.
Well, I'm wondering if they had her booked for something else on the lot that day, and they're like, "Hey, you want to do like a quick guest spot, real quick?" You know?
Yeah, maybe.
So, I'm pretty sure that they probably would have just taken any actor that was well known on set that day, whoever just showed up. Yeah.
So the first book he opens suggests they should write a list of all the things they don't like about each other.
Never a good thing. Never. Don't ever do that.
Well, yeah. Once this is done, we'll talk about the correct way to do it. Lily doesn't think she can do that. And Herman says, you need to get in touch with all the anger you've repressed through 300 years of avoiding marital conflicts. And Lily just looks at him like, where did you learn that? He's like, it was on 30-something. So I'm like, first of all, Herman's learning more from these shows than anything else.
I mean, it's not too far. How much shit have you learned from sitcoms throughout the years, dude?
Yeah. That's why I love sitcoms. They're life lessons in entertainment form.
Yeah.
And I got to say, original show Lily had no problem letting her marital conflicts out.
Yeah.
So they each make a list and then begin reading to each other. Yes.
Original series Lily also had no problem cheating on her husband, so it's not really.
Neither did Herman.
Neither did Herman. As long as they couldn't see each other's faces, they were fine.
Yeah. God, that was the anniversary episode too. Oh. All right. So the key to this is not to get defensive, aggressive, or interrupt the other. And I can see how this would be therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
There's a better way to do this.
Yeah. So Lily I did write down in my notes, though, right here at this point, doing the listing is never a good idea as when you're approaching it in the way that they do, as we see, you know, come out in this episode. The way they do it is horrible because it ends up becoming like an attack almost. So
If you're going to do something like this, it is preferable to do this with a therapist in the room.
give me a referee, damn it.
So just someone there to help padding.
This is why wrestlers do it on screen.
So I have everything she says written down here, so let's get into that.
Let's do it.
Lily is up first. She wants him to help with groceries instead of hiding. He immediately gets defensive about that. She's like, nuh-uh. Nope. She would like if he didn't drink out of the milk carton, clean the drain after showering once in a while, which is something I've asked. Walk Spot more. Every night he steals the blankets. That's another reverse for me. She would also like if he would pay more attention to her. And then we see what kind of attention, because she knows he hit his prime at 180 or 18, but she's just hitting hers at 300 or 30.
So she's in her prime.
Yeah.
So
she's wanting more bedroom time is
that would,
connotation.
That would be like what? Like when women hit about 45, 50?
What?
Is when they want more.
No, it's 30.
Is it in their 30s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. On average, it varies.
Depends. It's all dependent on the person, the personality, and all that. The generic. We were going based off of a generic stereotype.
Average.
Yeah.
So also, can we
just for housewives though? They were all in their like 40s and 50s.
MILF Manor, they're all much older. And just once, can we go out to dinner without using a 2-for-1 coupon? Which got a laugh out of me.
Yeah.
So after all that, Herman's just staring at her, and he looks very sad. He just starts folding it like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to make you feel
this. There's one that Herman says I really want to say.
Okay, well, we'll get this. He's like, I couldn't think of anything. And she's like, oh, that's typical. And he's like, say what now? You are so content you couldn't find one thing that bothers you? I'm adding that to my list. She has poked a bear now. I have been there. Because I'm just trying to let the fight just simper out. Let it go. Don't want to heat it up more. And then she pokes the last straw.
Pushes and pushes. And look, we're men. We love our wives. And we love to love. I'm a lover, not a fighter nowadays. But when you push.
Yeah. So he then opens his letter. And I'm going to put this in the chat so you can say the one you want to say.
Okay.
Here's the first one.
Where's the chat at? There it is. Nope, I don't care about those two.
Not any of those? All right, so I'll start reading as I post.
That one. The third one.
That one, okay. He can't stand the way she decorates. Gothic went out centuries ago. You're always so sweet to everyone, but you need to let out some of the anger once in a while, but not before I'm finished. And then finally,
number 3, the meta alert. Yep. Your dress hasn't changed since the old series.
Yeah. That one got a big laugh out of me.
And then I'm just thinking, I'm like, Herman, your outfit hasn't changed either.
That one did it though. Lily begins fighting back. If you earned more money,
and he also is this where he also goes on about her dad or no?
Yes.
Or is this okay?
Yeah, he's like, if you earned more money, maybe I could buy a new one. And Herman goes, I earned plenty. It's you and your spendthrift ways, as well as the old coat with his high-tech lab downstairs sucking it all up.
Yeah.
Which this kind of just reminds me of King of Queens now with Arthur in the basement.
As someone who has in-laws that live on his property.
Yeah, you probably understand this more than I do. So yeah, now Lily gets very defensive about her father. She
Mm.
thinks it's disgusting how he scratches his neck bolts every time he's nervous, which we know from an earlier episode is now an erogenous zone, and it makes it so much weirder. God.
I got my neck bolts on for people
Audio listeners, Myke was massaging his neck bolts.
While looking at Tivis. Oh.
He's like, well, I think you walk weird. You don't walk at all. You glide everywhere. She's like, I do not. And he's like, see, you're doing it there. He's like, well,
Yeah.
every time you take a step in this house, it feels like we're living on a fault line.
I always thought her glide like type of walk was kind of like, it's like Lily doesn't actually walk. She just literally hovers.
I think, yeah, that's what he's saying.
And I always thought that was just like because the character's supposed to be like part vampire.
Yeah,
I guess. Is she supposed to be full vampire? I don't know.
I believe so.
The daughter of Dracula.
Wait,
Wait, aren't the
Herman's
daughters
like,
of Dracula also the wives of Dracula?
Shouldn't be.
There's some messed up stories out there. Trust me, it might be. All right. Anyways,
yeah. So Herman's like, I do not, and stomps his feet as some dust from the ceiling comes down.
And then he tries to like. After that happens, he walks across the room really gently.
He starts. He's like, probably they're probably the only two people. Or no, I'm sorry. Probably the only two people having a worse weekend than them are Eddie and Grandpa. Which we're gonna cut back to Eddie and Grandpa in the middle of a story about baseball and Babe Ruth and the Yankees.
Yep.
The crowd went wild while he was at the bat. And Eddie's like, because he hit a grand slam? No, he mooned the Empire.
Which is also bringing back Eddie's love for baseball because we saw it in the first series as well. So that was pretty cool tie-in.
And it's like, so you thought only your parents were going to have or enjoy themselves this weekend, huh? Which is a weird statement. And then they give the weirdest hug with eye contact. Like, it would be a very sweet if this was just a normal hug, but they're like staring deeply into each other's eyes for some weird reason.
Well, not only that, they do that music cue too that develops over into the next scene where we cut back into Herman and Lily.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I understand what they were trying to go for. It was like, oh, Eddie realized he can have fun with his grandpa still and things like that. But
if they had just given a normal hug, though,
let's hug and look into each other's eyes, Grandpappy.
It's just strange, but it's a very sweet moment regardless. Just weird. So yeah, we get back home.
What if it wasn't a true good moment and Grandpa was actually just mind controlling Eddie?
That puts a twist. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, we cut back to Herman and Lily both sitting depressed, and Lily's in the kitchen, Herman's in Grandpa's chair. They're writing apology letters to each other. They walk in at the same time, exchange the letters, and then they decide to go back to the old country in the cemetery where Herman carved on the tree. He looks around. He's like, boy, it filled up. Wish I had vested in here years ago. And we get, this is a weird, how they delivered it was like, man, it had the sense of time passing in a weird, I don't know how to describe it, but the way they delivered it, it had an impact on me. Like, man, time flies, kind of thing. Yeah. Lily walks in and he grabs some flowers off of a grave and hands it to her.
Yeah.
And they begin a weird role play thing. My husband.
Have you seen my husband or boyfriend or whatever?
Like it's weird. I'm not going to do it. He hands her the flowers and it's a very sweet moment. She tells him, you shouldn't have. And he's like, oh, don't worry. That guy won't miss it. They then apologize to each other in person. And then they begin, they appreciate how they opened up with each other.
Can we say before they even do the lovey-dovey for themselves?
Yes, yeah.
Like they are very narcissistic as in describing themselves.
Yes, they are.
I'm like, two narcissists should not be in a relationship together. It does
Yeah,
not
he's
work.
like, is he a handsome man with a head so flat you can rest a drink on it?
And he's like, yep, nope, haven't seen him not for 100 years or 300 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, have you seen my girlfriend? And he says girlfriend.
Mhm.
And she's like, no, oh, is she like, pale skinned and beautiful and all these I'm like, y'all are some narcissistic, egotistical maniacs, bro. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. and they apologize, they make up, and they're talking about how they appreciate the fact that they finally opened up with one another and began communication, which
Yeah.
this is what I wanted to hit on.
Yeah.
In any successful relationship, you need the communication. You shouldn't let things build up to the point they did, where they're internalizing their anguish with each other. If there is a problem, address it. And if you two care about each other, you'll work through it together.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that many people, I feel like today, and I see it a lot with my sisters, they're not willing to fight for it, basically.
A lot of people oppress the
they think
they just push it away to the side, and
they think ignoring things is the solution.
Yeah.
And it just goes, it causes a bigger rift that you will not be able to repair.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, getting back to the episode.
What Tivis is saying is force your spouse to talk to you.
Or force yourself to talk to them.
Listen to Oprah, damn it.
Yeah.
Don't listen. I'm not giving Oprah advice. Don't take Oprah advice. I'm not, because I don't even know what the hell she tells.
You don't get a car, and you don't get a car.
And you don't get a blowjob tonight because you didn't talk to your wife. That went extreme.
Yeah, it did.
But Lily being a vampire, she definitely knows how to suck.
We almost went a whole episode. We almost made it a whole episode.
Love you, Tivis. Welcome back to the Munster Cast.
So they leave together, and they're happily saying they would visit, or they should visit the spot more, and it'll be their little secret.
Well, they do this fake fade out too on us here. So after they do the kiss, and then they go over to the tree and show off the thing that says Herman and Lily forever, which one, it wouldn't look that pristine after that many years.
300 years, yeah. Trees do eventually grow their bark back.
But then they do like they put the executive producer, whatever, up, go black screen, and then it comes back. It's like they almost had like a commercial break or something.
And it's revealed there's a reason this graveyard looks so familiar. Eddie and Grandpa pop up from behind the tombstone, smiling as wide as can be at each other. And then they give each other a thumbs up and freeze frame on that.
Yeah. Well, it was that was right after Herman also notes that, this is our spot. We can come back here anytime we want for privacy. No one will ever find us here. No one will ever know.
My question is their spot secretly in Florida, or did Grandpa and Eddie go to Transylvania after Universal Studios?
Is it supposed to be Transylvania?
Well, that's where they started dating. They're wearing Transylvania Leatherman jackets when they're younger.
That's true. They probably have some weird, like, Doctor Strange rings
portal,
so they can portal in and out.
Or maybe they had to transplant it to the yard.
Maybe. Or maybe that's what's in Grandpa's lab, a transporter.
Yeah, portal.
He was tired of flapping his
used
wings
to be able to
teleport.
Remember when he sent the whole family to Transylvania on accident? When he was trying to get rid of Herman?
Oh, yeah. Because wasn't it like some potion or something that they had to drink, or was it a pill?
Something like that. I don't know. I just remember Herman. He wanted to get rid of Herman, and Herman was the only one who stayed behind.
But it's really creepy because Eddie and Grandpa pop up from the behind the tombstones. It's just perfection, right? It was a great like thing.
In
But
unison.
but then they look at each other, smile, and give each other a thumbs up, like really like pervertedly, like, yeah, I just watched my mom and dad make out, dude. Awesome. Yeah, I just watched my daughter make out. Awesome. Yeah.
Well, it's not as creepy as what Grandpa has done in the previous show, so I'll
Where
let
he
that
tried
slide.
to where he tried to date his own son-in-law or no daughter. He tried to date his
Both,
daughter and his son-in-law.
yeah.
And when he was a horse, he kept trying to get Herman to ride him.
That he did. That
Fucking
wasn't the
grandpa.
plan.
But yeah, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I have in my notes the very last thing for this episode right here. What a hell of an episode to start season 2 with.
All right, yeah, let's jump
And
into our final thoughts. You go first.
well, again, like what a hell of an episode to start the season 2 off
Mhm.
with. Coming back from what was their break? Probably a few months, I think,
Oh,
from the
I could
last
look real quick
episode.
while
I
you're
think it was probably all
talking.
of summer break or whatever. Not only the start of the second season, but for us to come back after our hiatus to this episode was pretty great for me.
Mhm.
Um, and not only that, it was like the relationship stuff that you're getting to see them build and everything. It was a 4-month difference.
Yep.
Yeah, so after
Season 1 ended in June.
so after 4 months coming back to this episode right here, the culture shock of Eddie changing outfits and everything like that was pretty cool. I just wish that we would have had like Marilyn at least at the very beginning being like, all right, I'm going off to my school trip or whatever, something like that, so that she actually gets an appearance in the first episode back,
Yeah.
because she wasn't even in the first episode of the first season either, right?
I believe she was.
Which one am I thinking of then? I know those episodes got like aired out of place too, so
Yeah, yeah. And we know that the filming process, they're all over the place. This could be later in the run,
right.
and they just happened to be, she had a day off.
Okay. Yeah, that's
You
true.
know,
That's true. A day off. They had 4 months, man. 4 months.
eh, everyone gets a day off.
But no, this was, I thought, for me, I enjoyed this episode being the first one back to get us back into the how we're doing the show and everything. It was definitely one to start off with that is like, yes, I'm really ready to dive into this again.
Mhm.
Because we have had a 3-month hiatus and theirs was a 4-month break, so I think that works out almost perfectly for the
Yeah.
amount of time for us. So that's pretty cool too. So what about you? What were your thoughts, dude?
I agree with you completely. This was such a good episode to begin the season on. It's so strong. The lesson in it is one everyone should know.
Mhm.
And like it's so relatable. Like the whole communication is key thing is there's a reason everything and anything will drive this home, because it is so important. And so many people just fail to do it.
Yeah.
Again, the fighting, the mistakes that each one of them made, we've all felt it or done it ourselves.
Yeah.
It's such a good one. And then the little B plot with Eddie and Grandpa, seeing them get closer. I hope that continues throughout the series, because Eddie and Grandpa in the original show, they were so close and it was so nice.
Mm. I'm actually looking to see the 2 actual writers on this one. Because it was a format, there's like a bunch of different writing credits, but you have the format people and then the characters by
Mhm.
whatever. But there's only 2 actual writers on this episode.
Yep.
Noah Taft, which trying to see if they did more episodes. It looks like, yeah, they did 8 episodes total.
Yeah, I said that at the beginning.
Did you? Yeah,
Yeah.
see, this is what I'm talking about, communication. This is why we needed this episode, man.
Yeah, Bill Rosenthal and Noah Taft. This is the 5th of 8 episodes.
The 5th
Remember, the
of
last
8.
one they did was Neighborly Munsters.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember you saying that. I'm a horrible, horrible podcast husband. I'm sorry. I'm gonna drive Tivis crazy this season, guys. Don't worry. All right.
Why would you refer to yourself that way?
Podcast slut? What do you want me to say?
Okay. It's getting worse. Go back to the
I'm
first one.
your podcast mistress.
All
right. So next week, what do we got going on, Tivis?
There's no place like home, which I'm hoping we will get lots of Wizard of Oz references. Because one of my favorite. What?
I'm talking to the writers in the past. Please don't be all Wizard of Ozzy.
Well, one of my favorite episodes of Scrubs, that was the first episode Zach Braff ever directed, was a Wizard of Oz episode. It's so good. They actually have an extended version of it out there.
Please, I'm begging you, writers in the past, please don't have that to be a Wizard of Oz episode. Anyways,
Wizard of Oz. Have you never seen The Return to Oz? That movie is fucked.
Oh, that movie! I watched that as a kid, bro. That movie, whoo, that movie scares the shit. Like the monkey robot looking things with their arm. Nah, man, nah, we're good.
But
and the fact that they cast like a girl way younger to play Dorothy, and it was supposed to be a continuation. It's like, what is going on here? It's like Dorothy de-aged by like 10 years.
But what a strong episode to come back to. I'm so excited for this season. Yes. I've seen the titles for the next first 6 episodes, and they all sound like they're going to be fantastic. And I cannot wait to see what actually goes on. Do you have a guess for what's going to happen next episode? We like to do that.
I have absolutely no idea. Because it's called There's No Place Like Home. I mean,
I'm going to guess someone's going to try to run away again. Either Grandpa, Marilyn, or Eddie.
Or they go back to Transylvania for a minute.
Yeah. Maybe. That's a good one.
That'd be cool. If technically at the end of this episode they're in Transylvania, maybe they just don't want to leave now. And the whole family would be there except for Marilyn.
Yeah.
She's going to get back home and be like, party at my house.
Or it could be another relocation episode, kind of like when Herman almost got that job in another state.
Yeah. Herman's just like, screw it, don't want to work here no more. I'm tired of digging graves for the graves.
Or maybe that one dude will. Do you remember from the pilot, whoever is supposed to replace? Because I remember he got replaced as a character. Maybe someone's back trying to take their house and bulldoze it again.
Ooh, maybe.
There's so many options.
Yeah. Well, I'll start watching it like a day before we record. Because I watched this episode last night, right before I went to bed, actually.
Which is weird because you said you were starting it a few days ago.
I was starting my download process from the DVD, from the DVD file that I had ripped before. Yeah,
it's the one where she starts ironing, right? Yeah.
I was like, it's the ironing one, right? I was just like, I was asking that because I was actually naming them. I wasn't watching it at that point.
I have missed this.
It's been fun, man. Doing the breakdowns and everything is awesome. So I enjoyed this, man. Real quick before we go, guys, we also forgot to mention we put it up on screen. But if you want some awesome stickers, like the one that's hanging on my thing here, I buy stickers from this company all the time. It's called Sticker Mule. So I have like a crap ton of stickers. I'm not even sure where they all are at the moment because I'm in the process of redoing my office. That's why it's full of junk behind me. Tivis has a couple others there. And this company makes some awesome stickers. They also do shirts and other merch now too, which is pretty cool. So check them out. You can get a $10 credit, I believe it is, if you go to themunstercast.com/sticker mule, MULE, and then the number 10. And then you go there, you get a little bit off, and then we actually get a little bit off for whenever we want to add some new merch or something to our repertoire as well. So definitely check that out, guys. It's themunstercast.com/stickermule10. And we are just an affiliate with them. So that's what all that is an affiliate link. Just I like to be open and honest about what those links are for. Any of our links actually to any of the merchandise that's outside of our merch shop are going to all be affiliate links. So people are aware of that. All right. Tivis, any final words, dude?
I'm again just so happy to be back, watching the show, talking it with you, having fun with the listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, love hearing from all of you, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. I can't even talk today. We've been enjoying everybody still like commenting or liking and all that fun stuff on all the social media that we've been on. So we really appreciate that, guys. It's definitely kept us going for the last 3 months where we've been trying to figure out how the hell we're going to record this. And we just figure, we'll just get up earlier and do some recording. So we may be trying to shoot to do like a live episode one of these days, either on it'll most likely go to Facebook and our YouTube page. So if you're not on those things, definitely get on those and follow us, especially for updates of when different things are going to drop from us, guys. Facebook is always the number one just because it's so easy to post there. And I think Facebook and Instagram are linked, so everything gets hooked up there anyways. So Facebook, Instagram are the
only
two.
if we post the Instagram, though.
Yeah. But Facebook,
for some reason, they don't have it reversed. I don't know. And they don't have an automatic post to Threads. It's like you own all three. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But like Facebook and Instagram are like the two main ones where we've had the bigger audience come together for us. So that's where we definitely are always constantly posting stuff. So
and you can usually find us in we don't have a group of our own specifically for this show, but in Frank's Munsters Today group, we're pretty active in that. So
yeah, definitely, guys. With that said, Tivis, thank you guys all very much. And again, we will catch you next time as we take another stroll down 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. Or you can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.